So I tried to come up with a clever and pithy intro for this review of Lake Mungo, but I got nothing. Lake Mungo is clever enough on its own. Soon after Alice's tragic death while vacationing at Lake Mungo, her family began to feel her presence in their home, a presence whose manifestations are soon caught on camera. Is Alice's spirit unwilling to move on, or is her family not ready to let her go? I first watched Lake Mungo a few years ago. It was a film that I saw on a number of people's best of lists. I went into Lake Mungo expecting a horror movie. Lake Mungo is not a horror movie, at least not in the traditional sense. Lake Mungo is a faux documentary that shifts from paranormal thriller to mystery to character study, exploring themes of grief, loss, and loneliness. The film is shot in a documentary style, including talking head interviews with Alice's friends and family, the friends and co-workers of individual family members, the police, a psychic medium, and news footage chronicling Alice's death, its impact on her family, as well as the footage and photos reportedly showing her spirit inside the family home. However, Lake Mungo manages to achieve something that so many other films shot in this style fell at immediately. Writer and director Joel Anderson is able to maintain an air of authenticity throughout. When it comes to faux documentaries, I'm immediately taken out of the film whenever the talking head interviews begin. Because in those setups, you're essentially asking an actor to act like they're not acting. And that's something that even the best actors on the planet struggle to do. Yet Anderson and his talented cast pull it off so well, thanks in large part to the cast being given an outline instead of a full script, and Anderson allowing the cast to improvise. The long pauses, the stuttering, the stammering, and so on feel real, because they are. Lake Mungo is one of the very few faux documentaries or found footage movies that's able to establish and maintain this level of realism. I mentioned earlier that I went into Lake Mungo the first time around expecting a horror movie. Because of this expectation and a twist that emerges around the halfway point, I was completely taken out of the movie, and I never got back into it. However, Lake Mungo lingered in my head. I found myself thinking about it from time to time, and eventually decided to pay it a second visit. Upon that second viewing, Lake Mungo struck me as an incredibly clever, well-executed, atmospheric, eerie, and overwhelmingly melancholy film that made me think about things that I generally don't like to think about. Namely death. The cold, creeping inexorability of death. And not my death, but the deaths of the ones I love. Watching the film again courtesy of this gorgeous release from Second Sight Films, it struck me on an entirely other level. Because recently, a coworker who I'd been close to for many years passed away. She'd been placed on hospice, and I intended to go and visit her one last time. However, work and other responsibilities kept getting in the way, and I kept postponing going and seeing her. And then she died. I felt guilty because I didn't get to say goodbye. I remembered all the good times that we'd had together over the years, all the laughs that we'd shared. I felt selfish because I prioritized my own needs over taking the time out to go and visit her one last time during her final days. It reminded me of the quote, "Death is for the living." That's Lake Mungo. Lake Mungo isn't a horror movie. There's supernatural stuff going on, but the movie is really about loss, mourning, grief, and loneliness. How we deal with the fact that we know we're going to die. How we deal with the loss of a loved one. How we deal with not being able to let go or to reconcile with those we've lost. It's not a movie about a haunted house, but about haunted people. It's heavy stuff, and there's such an air of melancholy that permeates the entire film. The closing moments are particularly moving. It's the kind of movie that sticks to you. It makes you think and makes you feel. The fact that Lake Mungo was Joel Anderson's directorial debut is astonishing. And it's incredibly unfortunate that he's not directed since, because he's clearly a very gifted filmmaker. The cinematography, the score, and the performances are all fantastic as well. I cannot recommend Lake Mungo any higher. As for this new limited edition Blu-ray release from Second Sight Films, the back of the release doesn't note any kind of new transfer or elaborate restoration, but I thought the picture quality and the sound quality on this release were both fantastic. I'd give the picture quality a solid 4 out of 5. Now, the film is shot with a variety of different formats, from 35 millimeter film all the way down to crappy old cell phone cameras. So the picture quality kind of fluctuates because of that. But overall, I thought the picture quality was really good. As for the sound quality, I'd give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. The sounds of Lake Mungo are just as important as the images, I think. The score for this film is absolutely haunting, and there's a lot of use of the sounds of technology and the sounds of the wind, and it's just a very creepy sounding movie. As for the presentation, this limited edition release has some cool artwork by Thomas Walker on the box. On the slip on the back of the box, we have the plot synopsis, the list of special features and limited edition contents, as well as the credits and technical specs. This release is region-free. Here's the case. As you know, I dig black Blu-ray cases. The sleeve has the same artwork that's on the box. The back of the sleeve has the same listing of contents and so on. My Lake Mungo disc is still in my Blu-ray player. We get 3 art cards with new illustrations from Thomas Walker. We also get an 80-page softcover book with new essays by Sarah Appleton, Simon Fitzjohn, Rich Johnson, Mary Beth Andrews, and Shelley McMurdo. The book also includes an interview with actor James Lawson by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, plus rare behind-the-scenes photos courtesy of John Brawley. And it all comes inside a rigid slipcase or box, whatever you want to call it. It's plenty rigid. That's what she said. As far as extras are concerned, first up we have Kindred Spirits, an interview with director of photography John Brawley. It's 46 minutes and 9 seconds in length. Mr. Brawley discusses the genesis of Lake Mungo, shooting it as a documentary as a means to save money, allowing the actors to improvise their dialogue to keep up the documentary facade. He discusses the pre-production process, location scouting, creating a teaser to gain investors, creating and maintaining an authentic look and tone for the film. He discusses the kind of film they wanted to make versus how the film was marketed and audience expectations. He discusses how eerie it was shooting at Lake Mungo, how proud he is of the film today, and much more. Next, we have Ghost in the Machine, an interview with producer David Rapsey. It's 11 minutes and 47 seconds in length. Mr. Rapsey discusses meeting with writer and director Joel Anderson, loving his treatment, and coming on board to produce Lake Mungo. He discusses financing the film, casting the film, the editing process, screening the film for test audiences, the film failing to catch on in Australia, but eventually finding an audience in the U.S., and more. Next, we have A Cop and a Friend, an interview with actors Carol Petullo and James Lawson. It's 28 minutes and 33 seconds in length. They discuss getting cast in Lake Mungo, working with Joel Anderson, improvising their dialogue, shooting on location, the mood on the set, their thoughts on the film now, and more. Next, we have Kindred Spirits, filmmakers Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, on Lake Mungo. It's 25 minutes and 4 seconds in length. They discuss how impressive a film Lake Mungo is and its ability to remain authentic, to be based on more of an outline than a script, and improvising a lot. They discuss the found footage / faux documentary subgenres. They discuss their favorite moments in the film's standing amongst genre fans, its legacy, and more. Next, we have Hosting Spirits, filmmaker Rob Savage, on Lake Mungo. It's 17 minutes and 29 seconds in length. Mr. Savage discusses the first time he saw Lake Mungo and the impact the film had on him. Mr. Savage also discusses the underlying themes, the cast, and the use of improvisation. He discusses revisiting the film, how profound the film is for him, and more. Next, we have Simulacra and Spirits, a video essay by film scholar Josh Nelson. It's 20 minutes and 44 seconds in length. Next, we have Autopsy of a Family Home, a video essay by filmmaker Joseph Wallace. It's 8 minutes and 14 seconds in length. We get 13 minutes and 36 seconds of deleted scenes, and we get two audio commentaries, one with producer David Rapsey and director of photography John Brawley, and the other with Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Emma Westwood. I listened to about half the film with the commentary from Mr. Rapsey and Mr. Brawley. They were both very informative in their discussion of the making of Lake Mungo, and it was a pretty entertaining and informative commentary. Overall, this is an absolutely gorgeous release for Lake Mungo from the fine folks over at Second Sight Films. Both the picture quality and the sound quality are fantastic. The presentation is gorgeous. All the accoutrements included are fantastic. We get lots of extras, and this is a region-free release, meaning that regardless of where you live in the world, whether it's region A, B, or C, this release will play in your Blu-ray player with no issues. I'll post a link to Second Sight Films' website down in the description. Go over and check them out. If you've seen Lake Mungo, please let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments section below. Let me know what your favorite faux documentary films are down in the comments section too. If you've already picked up this release from Second Sight Films, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section also. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge shout out to all my patrons and channel members. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and join me for exclusive live streams, get early access to videos, and have a say in what movies I review on my channel. Become a channel member and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream. Links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.